how supportive they were when you were playing with them?
They were really supportive. So whenever I made a mistake, they would say, "Oh, don't worry about it. Go on." Or whenever they thought they could something could be better, they'd inform me and just help me practice it and stuff like that. I remember especially one night, I think it was a Tuesday night, that Tuesday week of the Arrangetrum, and we just finished rehearsals, and I was like feeling a bit better, but still looked quite tensed. And apparently my uncle wanted to change something in my tani them, and I was like, "Oh, really? There's like 3 more days to Arrangetrum. You sure you want to do this?" He's like, "Trust me, this will work perfectly." And we spent about 2 hours or 1.5 hours working on it, and then on the night it just sounded so good, so crisp, and it really paid off. So just like those little things that they do to make the actual night really good is just so beneficial.
And who is your teacher or guru in Milangam?
Yoga Kandasamy. Yeah, I've been learning him from about 8 or 9 years now, nearly 10 actually, nearly 10, yeah.
And tell me a little bit about his techniques and what the experience working with him.
Definitely as varied, from a young to an older guy. When I was young, he was definitely a lot more strict in maintaining, ensuring that we have all the basics right, because he knows how important clarity is when you're playing Milangam, making sure all your strokes are clear and precise. So he's definitely a lot more strict. But as I've grown, he's had more fun with me, and sort of making sure I'm enjoying playing Milangam, where it'd be teaching me a really cool beat or like a really cool corvée or something like that. After a long day of maybe cricket and a lot of schoolwork, you just go play the Milangam just to relax the mind and just enjoy yourself before you go to bed or something like that. Yeah, it's just trying to find the right balance of doing all three, and just ensuring you're enjoying it. Because the main thing is to make sure you're enjoying it. Because if you're not enjoying it, you're not going to keep persisting with it. You're not going to keep wanting to do it.
You mentioned you were captain of the Victorian indoor team. And how was it taking up a leadership position?
I think it was really good because, like I mentioned earlier, I really like to sort of be the best version of myself. So, given that leadership opportunity, I was sort of able to expand that even more and sort of be an example for the rest of my team. So I think it was a really good thing for me.
Any challenges or any difficulties you faced when you went in?
Definitely not, because local Australians are really good to talk to, really good to mingle with, and they're really open. They approach you really nicely. Challenge-wise, they're like little subtle things that sort of deviate, whether it be like having to explain why you can't do some things because of your culture, whether it be fasting during Navaratri or Kanda Sashti. You're not able to have any meat and stuff like that, while they're able to eat that, and so they have to explain that situation to them and stuff like that.
That's very interesting. So you had talked to them about your cultural experience.
Yeah.
So how did they receive it once you explained to them?
Some of them, well, it's different because some of them are like, "Oh, I would hate to be doing that," because that's just them. That's the way they see things. And some of them are quite interested in it and they're like, "Oh wow, that's really different. I've never heard of this in my life before," and stuff like that.
That's wonderful. And how do you feel as a person who born and grew up here? How do you see the culture? How important that is, you think?
Yeah, I think culture is quite important because in the future, obviously, there's not going to be predominantly one society dominant. In Australia, for example, there are multiple different ethnicities that are coming to Australia and migrating, and it's really evident in schools or sporting teams and stuff like that. So I think, yeah, culture-wise, we're doing pretty well.
Have you learned any other languages? Have you learned Tamil?
Yeah, so Tamil, I participated in Tamil school every Sunday for about 4 to 5 years. And then it came to a point when Miralangam, academics and cricket were all taking over. So I sort of had to make some sacrifices on other sports. And unfortunately one of them was Tamil, which is a sort of like a regret, I guess you could say, because my Tamil isn't as fluent as I probably want it to be.
And do you speak, you get to speak Tamil at any occasions at home or anywhere with your friends and family?
Certainly at home when I'm talking with my apama, I try to include as much Tamil as I can, and sometimes me and my sister will watch Tamil movies and we sort of try to make jokes out of that and sort of imitate, I guess you could say, some of the actors and stuff like that. So yeah.
That's good. And who's your favorite actor?
Definitely Vijay.
So you mentioned a lot about your achievements and what you have done with Milangam, sports, academics, everything. You must be having an incredible family to support you. So tell me about your family and their role in your achievements.
Yeah, so my family play like a vital role in making sure I'm able to do all the stuff that I do. It's sort of split up evenly, I guess you could say. Appa sort of looks after all the cricket and the Millingham sort of stuff, I guess. Always making sure my bag is packed, all my stuff's ready for cricket. I've got my whites, and then making sure I get there on time. I'm making sure I'm there on time for the warm up and stuff. And also for Millingham, when I was young, my dad would always make sure that I'm practicing the right thing, make sure I'm practicing hard and stuff like that. And I'm always really good at sort of getting me to read books, I guess, and just making sure academically I'm trying to do the best I can. And she's also like ensuring that I'm fed well, because through my busy schedule I tend to like get quite hungry and tend to eat a lot of sort of unhealthy food, I guess. So she'd try and add a few more extra vegetables in my fried rice or something, or making sure I'm having extra broccoli or something like that. But Upma is just probably the main person that sort of holds like the family together, I guess you could say. Especially during the Arangesham time, she was really played an important role, because I would always come home late from practice around 11:30, 12 a.m, sometimes even 1 a.m. And she would be up. And also, I guess my sister gets sometimes a bit mad at me because I sort of take priority in the family because I'm older, I guess. And she sort of doesn't get enough attention that she probably requires. And that's something I probably have to give back to her when I get a bit older. But I'm definitely like grateful for her and the way that she doesn't complain. You know, sometimes she has to get a bit bossy. She doesn't complain too much, and she understands that like the schedule is really tight, and she just does everything that she can do to help me out, which is really good.
So, what do you want to be in the future?
So I've definitely got a few things that I'm tossing up about occupation-wise. So definitely one of them is dentistry, which I've really found interesting of late. And another one is also physiotherapy, because I just love the idea of working with sport, and sports science sort of interests me quite a lot. I know that obviously the traditional Tamil parents would always like their kids to be a doctor. That's just how the Sri Lankan culture works. But my parents really support what I want to be, whether it be through cricket, through academic, or through music. They're just really there for me and making sure I'm being the best that I can be.